Welcome to the Nerd Party.
Hello, everybody at home, and welcome to Second Contact, a Lower Decks commentary podcast. I am your co-host, Tristan Riddell, and with me, as she always is,
Charlene Schmidt.
Charlene Schmidt. We have another banger of an episode, and this one is just simply called Caves.
Caves. We're going to be dealing with a lot of caves in this episode. That's why it's caves, plural, not caves, singular.
It's very, the naming convention is very reminiscent of Voyager's naming convention because it's just single word, caves.
Single word.
And this is how, This is how Memory Alpha describes it. The Lower Deckers go on a classic cave mission. That's it. That's all we get.
Wow. They're not even trying with these descriptions anymore, are they? Like, nobody is. Nobody.
But honestly, it's, once we get going and, if you're listening to this show, then you've seen it already. So you know that this classic cave adventure is, what did you call it earlier? A round
robin.
What'd you call it? A round robin. Yeah. Like different stories of different caves. And they make so many jokes about previous cave adventures in Star Trek. So this is going to be a delight.
Yes, I am so here for it. Shall we get going?
Let's get going. So if this is your first time listening, what we do is we follow along with the episode and we cue it up, and we're at about the 24 second mark. So it's after the generic Star Trek intro, and then right after we see CBS Productions, we pause it, and then we'll give you guys a countdown. So it'll be 3, 2, 1, play, and we'll play it together. Now, you can either follow along with the episode or just listen on your commute. It doesn't matter because we will be entertaining either way. So let's get going.
Let's do this.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play.
All right. So we're going to just
one thing I noticed
jump
with
right
this
into
episode
it.
is that, all the planets are positioned in the exact same framing. Every single time we see a new planet, it's framed the exact same way.
Yes, I noticed this too. We're going to go for several tropes in this episode, but it actually, instead of takes the story down, lifts it up, which Lower Decks can do. And it's part of the Lower Decks charm. This episode is such a prime example of how they can do that.
And this is a kind of a nod to the audience because you and I were talking about how this season we don't really get to see Boymes and Mariner paired up together, and that's the first thing out of their mouths. And then all four of them are together, and they're like, "Oh my god, beta shift back together!"
Yeah, it's nice that they're like the show is aware enough to acknowledge that getting their promotions has taken them away a little bit from one another. They've had to go branch off and do other things, but at their core, the band's back together. They're happy to be doing this, working together once again.
I love when they're talking about caves. They're just like, oh, like the smell, how the floors are all flat.
Right. Just every Planet Hell joke that we've been hearing for at least the last 30-something years. Because every cave is that set on stage 16. They do look a little too much like the same. So, Mariner is absolutely right. Oh, God, another cave? Why do they all look the same? We've done this before. It's because you have.
And I love the animation trope of when everything goes black, you can still see the whites of their eyes.
Right, and you can just
love that in animation.
The life fades out of Mariner in her eyes and her face. She's just, I knew this was going to happen.
So this one, I was very happy with this episode. There was a few things when I was just like, oh, come on, let's get back to the, like with you're talking about the round robin style. It was nice to get a story from each person's perspective, but at the same time, I was like, no, go back to all four of them. I want to see more of all four of them together.
Right? Yeah, these are all stories that we do not know. So it has kind of that style of a flashback kind of clip show type thing. However, it's all new to us. It's happened to them, but we don't know about it until now. And yeah, I love this format. Lower Decks has done it before, and they do it really well. And given that we have 2 episodes left, this is that feel-good calm before the storm. Mike McMahon has hinted that the last 2 episodes are going to be really intense, really big. So I'm going to take him at his word and just enjoy this peaceful cave mission for the time being.
Well, this is a great. If the last two episodes are really big and have a lot of things going on, this is a great episode to prime that up because we're getting the band back together. It's conversational. They're all kind of catching up. They're realizing that with their rank comes responsibility, and so they don't always get to spend as much time with each other as they used to. And so this is kind of that rekindling of the lower decks.
Absolutely, yeah. We even go back to day one, the very moment where they started bonding together, which was so great to hold till the end because, damn it, I wanted to know Tendy's story too.
I mean, and you knew that the moment Tendy was opening her mouth and like trying to tell the story, we're like, okay, well, that's going to be the last one. Like we're obviously going to see that story
because they keep shooting her down. So of course it is, but that doesn't mean it's any less great of a moment than the rest of them. What I love, though, is everybody's story. It's like they're having to go through the motions of every Trek trope they have. Mm-hmm. We have the unexpected pregnancy trope. We've got trapped in a turbo lift trope. We're just going to go through them all. And yet, that again, this is not a drawback. This is not a bug. It is a feature because we know this story. We kind of know how that situation plays out. That's okay. It gets out of the way so that the characters can really have their moments to shine. It works so well.
Now, we see Lieutenant Levy, and the first time we saw Levy, you hated him.
Oh, yeah.
Because you hated the idea of a conspiracy theorist existing in this universe.
Yeah. And for the record, I still can't stand this guy.
Okay. And Boymes goes after him pretty hard to the point where he starts to cry.
He's not putting up with this crap either, and good for him. Now, granted,
so I love
he might be trying to help, but you know what?
Yeah.
Find other ways to help. This is not helpful. Only, you know what? Okay, with this story, the fact that he was right, that this story actually turned out to be his conspiracy theory sort of tears down the notion that, oh, he's just a crackpot. I mean, he is, but he was right this one time. Damn it, what else is he right about?
So with this scene right here, when we see the all-terrain vehicle, when Boimler puts his flashlight on it, and we just see the nose of it, I thought it was that mysterious ship for a second, just for like a half second.
Yeah, same. They look very similar.
Yeah, that nose looked so similar. I was like, whoa, what? We're doing this now?
Right? And then, strangely enough, we're not getting any updates on whatever the heck that thing is going on, presumably because we're dealing with that next episode and the last.
Right. And, Levy is, of course, talking about the Vindorians, which is a TAS reference because those were revealed as shapeshifters in the original animated series. And I think we got a Vindorian reference before in a previous
we did
Lower Decks episode.
Yes. Oh, golly. I can't remember which one, but yes, that totally happened.
I think it was the one with the king. It was one with the Klingon captain, that Mariner. I think it's called Envoys or something like that.
Oh, okay. All I remember is I read Trek Core's like little tidbits toward the end of their review because they point out some really good stuff, and that was one of those things.
I love the dissection of every Trek episode the day after or a couple days after on Twitter. That's one of my favorite things, is like when people say like, oh, this is Easter egg and this Easter egg, or like you can see that this console is shaped like the one in the 22nd century. Like it's that kind of stuff. I love it.
There are people who go deep. Like one of my very favorite accounts on any social media platform is Yorg's. He has actually been a consultant on Star Trek shows. He points out just the deepest, darkest details of every episode, any Trek. And if you're not following him, man, you're missing out on some really good stuff because he comes through every time.
Like he's the source. The source to follow.
Yeah.
So one thing about the Vindorians' voice acting, it was done by Don Lewis. And I can never pronounce his last name, but the guy who voices Shax.
Fred Tasticore?
Tastasciore.
Something like that?
I think something like that, yeah.
Yeah, sorry,
Freddie
Fred.
T. That's what I'm going to call him, Freddie T.
Freddie T.
We'll look it up for next week. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes him sound really cool.
Don Lewis and Freddie
cool.
T, like, they're not even disguising their voices. It's just their voice. It's just their voices.
Yeah.
Like when I first heard it, I was like, yeah, I was like, oh, is it like secretly the captain? Is this Fendorian?
Right?
Like, is this some sort of, I don't know. Like,
is it a test that they're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this Freeman and Shax doing this, performing under the guise of these aliens? No, it's just their voices, because Freeman is absent in this episode and Shax gets, I think, like 1 or 2 lines tops.
Well, apparently Freddie T is also the voice of Steve Levy.
Oh,
so
is he?
I was surprised by that. Yeah, I didn't even recognize him.
Shoot, I didn't catch that. Good for him. He's a fantastic voice actor. I'm not surprised.
Oh my gosh, right. And I think that's what confused me, is because Don Lewis and Freddie T are fantastic voice actors. So I'm just like, why didn't the director tell them to do something different? They were just like, nope, just use your voice.
Look, they needed somebody to fill in real quick. Just get this done, please. We're going to add an echo. That'll be enough.
I love Mariner's response there. Like, way to waste bones.
Right. Hey, where's Moopsy? Moopsy will take care of it.
That's true. Moopsy wastes not.
Moopsy.
This was when Boimler took off his pants. I was like, of course he would. He's just like, boom, yeah. Like Rutherford asked me to, so I'm gonna take off my pants.
I've never had a roommate, but I do have to imagine that this is what it's like. Like, you just lose all pretense of modesty when you live with somebody else in close quarters like that. It doesn't matter, like your status, your friendship status, relationship status, what have you. This is sort of a thing that just happens, I think, right? Let us know. Tell me, if you've had a roommate, is this the way it really is?
So, Rutherford just dropped the knowledge that he had a kid with Dr. Tiana. I immediately got vibes of, I thought they were going to go the Threshold route, where it was a literal child of Dr. Tiana and Rutherford together.
I did too. So
but
this was a nice twist on.
This was kind of like a mixture of that Enterprise episode where Trip gets pregnant and the Voyager episode where Tom and Neelix take care of a cave baby.
Oh, yeah, the little baby dinosaur. He was really cute. Also, the child where Troy becomes pregnant because alien life form.
But way less traumatic.
Way less. Yeah, although, I don't know, maybe ask Rutherford. He might have a different opinion.
He seems pretty okay.
Yeah, true.
But okay, so this blue alien right here, who is their guide, this is also Don Lewis, and this is her putting on like a crazy cool voice.
I didn't even recognize
she's a fantastic voice. Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. I'm telling you, she can do it.
Yeah. Wow. She's really coming through in this one. Had no idea it was her. I love how quick this pregnancy is. Like, if only.
Yeah.
If only it was like this.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
My wife definitely would prefer this over the 2 times, or the combined 18 months that it took for our kids.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine. Yeah, no.
It doesn't even look like she gives him anesthetic. He's just like, bite the boot.
Yep.
Good Lord.
No time for that. Maybe they don't have any on hand, like no hypo sprays, and yet she has the tool to cut open. That checks for Dr. Tiana, though.
That's true. I do love how cool and calm she is during it. She just doesn't care. Like, she just doesn't care. She's like, whatever, shut up, don't be a baby.
Very procedural. And you know what? We have not seen much of Dr. Tiana this season at all. So it's about darn time we get a really good story with her. And it's here. I love the fact that babies do not like her. She does not like them. That checks.
Now, this may be a stupid question, but has her tail always been that short?
You know what? That's a good question. I don't know.
Or is this like during a time when, I don't know.
Seems like maybe it was a little longer, but then, you know what? I'm not always looking for her tail, so I could be very wrong. Usually her gown covers it, so you can't even really see.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. Like, I always just thought it was longer because of her lab coat or whatever you want to call it.
Right. Maybe that's it. Maybe. I think Rutherford
I
would
love
be
that
a good
Rutherford's
dad.
he's so good with babies. I love that. Because Rutherford would be good with babies.
He would. Well, Eugene Cordero has kids as well, just in real life. So that checks.
There's so many times, like, as parents, when Dr. Ta'ana phasers, she vaporizes the dirty diaper. There is so many times, as a parent, you wish you could do
Right, another if only you could kind of a moment.
If only. I think this one is my favorite story out of all of them.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Out of all of yeah.
I like the absurdity of it. I love the way it resolves, though, and I like this pairing of Rutherford with Ta'ana.
Me too. Yeah, we don't see that very often.
No, not at all. And she doesn't even really like engineers, generally speaking, and yet they're forced to work together, which is great. And they go on this little adventure. It is very much like Neelix and Paris taking care of the dinosaur baby in that sense.
Well, they talk about how caves bring enemies together, and that's exactly what happens.
This is exactly what's happening.
So I do like, this is classic Starfleet, classic Star Trek, where they don't kill the monster, they don't avoid the monster, they find out that the monster is intelligent, and they're just doing what they naturally do. And so Rutherford found a way to communicate, and beautiful thing.
And this is just a mama being mama bear, protecting her baby. No kill I got those kind of Horta vibes from that. Now, in the future, I hope at some point we'll get an update on this kid. What happened to it? Where'd it go? Who has the baby? I mean, is it going to grow up really fast? Because that's kind of a Trek trope, too, where it's going to go from baby to 5-year-old in a matter of months.
I expected that to actually happen during the cave adventure. That, like, because it took so long for them to find a way, that it was actually going to grow up super fast, and then we just get a replacement Thusa.
Right? It could have happened.
But I also like that Rutherford is so nonchalant with so much in his life that he didn't even think to bring it up to his friends and his roommate.
Right? Yeah, I guess just so much happened in this time that it might have been important that day, and he just didn't tell them because they weren't around each other that day, and then something else happened, and it just fades into the background because life is busy.
So this is my favorite planet name in all of Star Trek, Glish.
Planet Glish.
And I do love that Mariner talks about how, like, they say nice landing, and she's like, well, you know, like the shuttles are shaped like bricks. What am I supposed to do?
She makes a good point.
Like, these are the least aerodynamic thing. I mean, we don't start getting aerodynamic shuttles until I think like Voyager with the Type 2 shuttles.
Yeah, I agree. Otherwise, yeah, they kind of are bricks.
Yeah.
So here's a question, though. Why is she leading a mission with Delta Shift? Because they work at different times of day. How's this working out?
I mean, we don't... Well, with Mariner, I feel like they're not really on a... with Mariner being a lieutenant junior grade now, and maybe that kind of shift is just for... Like, maybe she's leading this on a Delta, like, because they needed a leader for the mission. Like, this is a Delta Shift mission, but they needed a leader, and so they assigned Mariner. Okay. I feel like, you know, I'm completely pulling this out of thin air, but it could be what? Where
I'll buy it.
You know, like maybe the lower deckers are more segmented like that, and once you get a little bit higher up, you kind of move around a little bit more.
Okay. Now, one thing I love about this transformation, and again, this is the old, like the fast, rapid aging trope, is
the rapid aging stuff.
Like when Mariner starts going through her initial transformation, she looks a lot like her mom with the streak in her hair.
Yes, with the streak in the hair. Yes.
Yeah.
It's very well done. Very well done.
It's very good. Also, I can't help but appreciate the fact that when they go for really advanced old age, these women have saggy boobs.
Yes. Yes, they did not shy away. Like, they have bigger bellies, they have saggier boobs, their cheeks are drooping, and their voices change.
Yes. Yes. And again, the voice acting is really good here. There's a noticeable difference.
And the one on Delta Shift, I can't remember her name. Like she, I think, does an even better old lady voice than Tawny Newsome does.
I have to agree. Yeah, she does. That said, though, I love Tawny Newsome. No disrespect.
No, exactly. No, I'm disrespecting Tawny Newsome because I said someone else was better at something.
No. Just saying, Tawny, you did good too.
This part coming up, I cannot stand compound fractures in media.
Oh, really?
It kills me every single time. It's like, no, it hurts whenever I see a compound fracture. Like, even though it's animated, but the fact that it's like, it's healing wrong and like he's limping on it. It's like, he's
like, dude, no,
like
don't put weight on
antelope.
That. Bruh.
Oh, man. And then it just
no, dude, no. He would have probably been okay if he kept crawling, but he chose not to. Now, is your aversion to compound fractures from experience? Has this happened to you?
Oh, no.
Or do you just...
Thank God, no.
Okay.
No, it just looks incredibly painful.
It sure does. It's not something you want to happen.
I do love the reversal on this. Like, instead of like powering through and you know, breaking through the aging barrier, someone just off screen found a reversal. You know, it's just like, oh no, you get super young, you know.
Right. Honestly, what I was waiting for is someone was going to have to sacrifice themselves, because the further you go, you'd eventually hit a point of no return, but that would be the clincher moment to get it. But then that isn't necessarily feel good, doesn't fit the vibe of this overall story. So I'm glad it didn't go that way.
No, I completely forgot how this guy lost his eye. Did we see how he lost his eye? My memory's horrible with that. I
don't think so.
And also, if you're in Starfleet, you know, like, I understand why Martok didn't want to have his eye replaced. It was like a matter of honor thing. Mm-hmm. But in Starfleet, you feel like if you had the ability to get a replacement eye, that you would.
Right? I mean, if Dr. T'Ana can grow somebody another leg, why not another eye?
Yeah.
Seems possible.
I mean, especially if you're not, you know, you have some sort of condition like Geordi when you were born that way. If you just lost it, because he has the scar on it. Man, I'm really ashamed of us if we can't remember what happened. We're
getting on Memory Alpha as soon as we're done here.
Yeah, it's not like we host a show all about Lower Decks or anything.
I mean...
So we finally get to Tendy's story, and I get super excited.
Yes. Yeah, it really is cool circling back to where it all began, just to point out how far these characters really have come. Like, we've kind of been on Mariner's case because, dang it, she really needs to resolve this angry warrior inside her, if you'll pardon a Voyager phrase. But at the same time, look at how far they have come. Mm-hmm. Sort of brings us all full circle.
And I do love how we pick up literally moments before the credits roll of the first episode.
Yes. Yeah, who knew that there was a continuation of this story here way back when in 2020 when we first saw this.
And I love Boim's response. He's like, nothing crazy is going to happen until 1530, because, you know, that's how it is on starships. We're just like, oh, well, we dealt with that crisis, so we'll be fine for a little while until the next episode.
Lols. Now, what is it with Boimler taking his clothes off? Because this just seems to be a thing for him.
You know, McMahon gives the fans what they want.
That's not what you said when Tendi, the grappler, took her coat off and she was wearing the tank top.
That was the type of... It's true. That's McMahon was not listening to me on that one. So I love this over-the-head shot of them like doing some sort of crisscross sleeping arrangement where they each sleep on each other's bellies.
Yeah.
I love that.
It looks like they were midway in a game of Twister and then just stopped.
And just gave up.
Yeah,
because
we're tired.
There's something... I always enjoy this in TV shows and movies where non-romantic partners have a physical intimacy. And I'm not talking about sex. Yeah. I'm talking about a physical intimacy where you're so close with someone that you can put your head on their lap, their shoulder, their whatever, put their legs up on each other. It doesn't matter. And it's non-sexual.
Okay.
I just love that. Yeah, I absolutely love that.
Yeah, it can happen.
I think I might make that my phone wallpaper.
Oh yeah, everybody covered up in the slime or the moss, I should say, not slime. It looks like slime.
The crisscross sleeping on each other's stomachs thing.
Oh, gotcha.
Although the covered up in slime would be good too. The moss, yeah.
Right. How about both? You can do both now.
And I think Jerry O'Connell is the sentient moss.
I
That's
believe
his voice,
you're right.
like the very robotic, like,
right.
No way.
Can we be friends? I mean, it's very cute. The moss is sentient, wants to be friends.
Now, this episode is so on point with its satire of Star Trek's caves that every single time I watch a cave Star Trek episode, I'm going to be thinking about the Vendorians and sentient moss and
totally
blue babies. And I'm just, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to give us a whole different angle to examine those old episodes.
They ruined it in a good way.
I wouldn't say they ruined it. I think they've enhanced it.
No, that should be the tagline for Star Trek Lower Decks. We ruin things in a good way.
It's a feature, not a bug.
There you go. So, man, I loved that episode. That has to be one of the best, in my opinion, of the season.
Yeah,
and last week I said the same thing.
Yeah, but you know what? This is even better. And maybe it's a recency bias, but I don't know. This is a very solid episode. This is just like Lower Decks doing what it does at its best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
there's
thoroughly
so
enjoyed
many
it.
great things about this episode, and seeing everybody together, it really works. I mean, that's the thing, is that like there's so many shows that will continue on and branch out, and the gang isn't together anymore. And
sure,
sometimes I should say, that's where the magic is, and this is no different.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's great that we got this moment where we could just kind of check in a little bit with our four main characters and kind of just where things are at in general before it all goes down next week with what sounds like, I don't know if it's actually a two-parter season ender, but it sounds like the last two episodes of the season are going to be so closely related that, like, yeah, we're going to buckle up for a ride, probably hate everything by the end of next week's episode, because we're going to have to wait a full week for the last one and see where that leads.
You're probably right. Yeah. All right, folks. Well, that was our episode. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to give us a review on iTunes or whatever platform you listen to us on, and go to thenerdparty.com for all of our backlogged episodes, as well as all of our other shows, because we got some great stuff on there. So until then, live long and prosper.
Join the revolution. Join the Nerd Party.